Exciting action every week, from the courts, to the range, to the water, and to the fields. U of O Eagle Sports is everywhere and all the time. This is U of O Eagle Sports Weekly with your host, Sports Information Director, and all-around Superman, Josh Pettis.
We welcome you to the U of O Sports Weekly Show. I'm your host, Josh Peppis. All semester, I'll be providing scores, schedules, interviews, and much, much more right here on the U of O Sports Weekly Show. We first want to start off the show by congratulating the men's basketball team on winning the ASC championship. The Eagles had to win 3 games in a row and then defeated Louisiana College last Monday night for the ASC title, their first in program history. Let's take a look at the highlights from last Monday's game against Louisiana College.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Maybe Gymnasium on the campus of the University of the Ozarks in Clarksville, Arkansas. Tonight's game will feature the Louisiana College Wildcats from Pineville, Louisiana, taking on the University of the Ozarks Eagles. On the radio, the Eagles wear the white uniforms with the gray numbers. Louisiana College in their blue and red. Both at center court, and here we go. Louisiana College has the opening tip in the backcourt, and this game is underway. Right wing Bilbo, ball fake. Bilbo takes it to the basket, came down with the ball. That will be Eagle basketball. Picks up the dribble, goes to the right. Turpin, step back, 3, got it. Tim Turpin with the third 3 of the ballgame for U of O. Eagles lead Baker, open for a 3 ball, that's no good. Johnson has the rebound, sends it ahead to Bird. Bird goes by the defender, lays it up and scores! And at the end of the first half of play, U of O Eagles 31, Louisiana College Wildcats 26 on the Eagles Basketball Network. To the high post, Renwick, nice pass to Bobo. Bobo with a 2-hand jam! Certainly intense on the defensive end. To the left side, Bird out of the corner, got the 3 ball. Zach Bird with another 3, and we have a timeout on the floor called by U of O. Pass into the corner to Johnson. Bryson within 12. Running shot. Good. Bryson Johnson with a 2-pointer. 57-53. U of O with the lead. And goes around the double team. Gets into the paint. Pulls up from 15. Got it. Bryson Johnson with the 2-pointer. So at the free throw line is going to be Karan Baker. He's going to want to make the first one for the 1-and-1 and then miss the second and hope for an offensive rebound putback. The Wildcats need a miss and a tip-in with 1:09. There's the free throw. He missed it. Rebound is controlled down low. Follow shot won't go for the Wildcats. And the Eagles are going to win the ASC Championship 74-72.
Other scores from last week: softball took on Texas A&M Texarkana and lost both games in that doubleheader. Thursday, men's tennis defeated Evangel 8-1. In women's tennis, Evangel defeated the Eagles 6-3. Men's soccer got a big win over Laterno on the road, 2-0. Women's soccer tied it 1-1 after 2 overtimes. Softball Friday, Mary Hardin-Baylor took a doubleheader there. Saturday, Mary Hardin-Baylor defeated the Eagles 14-1 on Senior Day. We certainly want to congratulate those 5 seniors who were honored before the game against Mary Hardin-Baylor. Men's soccer on Saturday, the Eagles took a 2-0 victory over Louisiana College. And also on the road, men's and women's track, they were at Harding University and taking on several teams in that invitational. That wraps up Eagle action from over the weekend. We will be talking to head baseball coach Aaron Gentry next. We'll be talking about the success he's had so far and preview the upcoming series, big series against Concordia University right after this message.
We gotta finish today's job, boys.
On the U of O Sports Weekly Show, we're excited to have the head baseball coach here at University of the Ozarks, Aaron Gentry. Coach Gentry, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Let's get right into some baseball stuff. It's hard to believe, but after this weekend, I think the season's halfway over. You guys are 7-4, 5-1 in league play. Get out the grade book, Coach. How do you think the team's done so far?
I think we've done great. The team is excited to play, and they bring a lot of energy onto the field as well as our dugout. And so, you know, they're just ready to play every time. And so I think what's important, too, is that they understand the fundamentals of the game better and better. And so they take pride in doing the small things well. So with all those things being done right now for us, we're doing well.
So you guys host Concordia University, Texas this weekend for a 3-game series. They're one of the best clubs in the ASC. Just, you know, talk about what it's going to take to be successful against a team like that.
Yeah, so Concordia is always good, and they always bring a great pitching staff, and they play a good defense, and so they always have one of the top pitching staffs in the conference, and a lot of times the country. And so it's no easy task to face them, but whatever team we play, it all comes back to the little things that I mentioned earlier as far as focusing on our own strengths of pitching, playing well defensively. And against a team like Concordia, it's going to take a big hit or two, or maybe it's a sack bunt, or maybe some other small things that happens to help us be successful.
You know, describe for fans, ASC is really good baseball. It's really good college baseball. Just talk about how competitive it really is.
It really is. I ever since this, I believe it's my 13th year in the league, and 13 or 14, I kind of lose count. But anyway, we ever since I got in this conference, I've been pretty impressed with the student athlete in the conference. Not only in baseball, but all other sports that I watch. But in baseball specifically, you know, playing teams in Texas, and Texas is a hotbed of talent for baseball. And not only Texas, but Louisiana and Mississippi, a lot of those states are just well known for their baseball talent. And so the Division III schools in our conference, they get that talent. And not only from the high school level, but from the junior college level, as well as from the Division I level, transfers from the Division I level to a lot of the schools in our conference. And so with all that being said, it turns out to the competition, the talent, the knowledge of the game is, I don't know really how to compare it to other conferences in Division III, but I just know it's very good.
Yeah. Guys can really hit the ball in this league. Your team's no different. You have 7 players hitting over 300, led by Ray Lozano. I think he's hitting 455 right now. You know, talk about those hitters and what they do well at the plate to be able to get that kind of average?
I think that first of all, we have some talented players and talented players right now that are focused right now, and they're, speaking of hitting, they're ready to hit. They're ready to go up there and make something happen. And probably the most important part of it is that they believe in the things that they can do. And so they're able to take out all the distractions that you just can't have while hitting. It's such a hard thing to do anyway. And so right now they're just ready to hit. They're not worried about a thing, and they're just trying to have fun and playing.
You talked about distractions just now. Just talk about, you played professionally, you've been around the game all your life. Mentally, what does that play into baseball?
You know, baseball, the mental aspect, just like a lot of other sports, it's paramount. And the more I coach, the more I'm around baseball and just student athletes in general, the mental aspect of the game, I realize, is just much, much more important. More important than what I first realized it to be. And so the grind of baseball, which I believe you need to play it every day to reach your full potential as an individual, but also for teams to really discover their own identity. You know, the grind of baseball itself, the mental aspect of the game becomes so important because you do go through moments, peaks and valleys as a team, and you have to grind those things out, and the mental aspect becomes important. If you don't have a positive, strong mental approach, then you would really struggle as a team. And so typically our leadership, our juniors and seniors typically kind of lead the way in that charge of maintaining the positive mental approach.
Yeah.
So we have that right now.
Defensively, you guys are ranked number 1 in the ASC in fielding percentage. Just talk about how important that is to the team.
Yeah, it's a huge element. I believe that pitching and defense wins championships, and I know you have to score runs to actually win, but having a good defense behind good pitching, it just really takes the wind out of the other team's sails. That anything good that happens to them defensively, if we're moving our feet well and we're taking good routes and we're throwing and playing catch, you know, all the fundamentals of the game, if we have those intact, then you know, we're playing well. And so it's a huge element to the game, and it makes the game go quicker. It keeps everybody engaged. And so whenever that fails, you know, that's when you start to see longer games and you know, more pitches out of our pitching staff, and it just causes stress when you don't do it. And so right now we're able to play very well defensively, and again, we have talented guys out there who are focusing on the fundamentals of defensive play, and they're having fun doing it.
Every pitcher wants a good defense behind them, so I know they're thankful. But let's talk about your pitching staff. You got one young man in particular, Dylan Keister, that his ERA is around 1. That's hard at any level as a starter, and he's also got some national recognition. Talk about Dylan, what he means to the team and your other pitchers.
Yeah, so really proud of Dylan. Very, very excited for him being named as part of the D3 Team of the Week a couple weeks ago. And so he has come off of an arm injury from a couple of years ago and has worked his way back through that time, spent a lot of time with our athletic trainer, Chad Floyd, and his staff. And so he's worked very hard getting to where he is, and kind of like we were talking about just a minute ago, he's worked hard to get back to baseball, and he is working even harder to stay in it and staying healthy. And so his mindset, his work ethic, all those things are setting a great example for everybody else on the pitching staff and our entire team of how you should go about playing the game of baseball, or really anything that you do.
Yeah, you're blessed with, well, he's blessed, the pitching staff's blessed with great catchers. You know, Eric Aguirre's a great player. He's thrown out 5 or 6 runners already trying to steal base, but talk about how important catchers are. Catchers
are the captains of the field. It's the toughest job on the field. They have to be vocal. They have to communicate. They have to handle the pitching staff. And they have to make split decisions in important parts of the game. And not to mention they have to call the right pitches. And so the way I do it, I let the catchers call the pitches. And so I don't do that. I think it's important for them to have a relationship with their pitchers, and Eric does that so well. He's such a humble guy, and again, he's a hard worker. He's a very talented player. And so for me right now, I feel very blessed. You said blessed, and that's exactly right. I feel very blessed to have such a hardworking, talented catcher who's vocal, and he leads the team in those ways.
You guys are coming off a series against Nebraska Wesleyan. Nebraska Wesleyan won the series. What did you take from that series, and what did the guys take from the series?
Great question. What I took from the series is that we have to have, we're going to have, for us to be successful, everyone is going to have to take part in the game. And so, at Nebraska Wesleyan, credit to them, they were ready to hit, and they're a good hitting ball club. And so that originally was supposed to be here. We had to change it due to weather, and so we went up to Nebraska and played them. And so there was a little bit of change in routine for us, and we're going to have to be able to adapt to those kinds of things come conference tournament play. You never know when you're going to play, especially if weather is involved in baseball. And so we're going to have to adapt and adjust to those situations and really just be ready to play at any given moment. And so, but also is that you never know when you're going to have opportunity to make an impact on the game, whether you're in the field or whether you're on the bench. At any given moment, your name could be called, and so you have to be prepared for it.
Yeah. When you're out recruiting potential student athletes to play baseball for you and attend University of the Ozarks, what are some of the things that you look for, in a player and as a person?
A lot of the normal things that I look for, as far as just little things like hustle on and off the field. I look for reactions. It's not like if I'm looking at a pitcher, it's not like sometimes that pitcher will be getting hit quite a bit, and I don't necessarily look at the fact that he's getting hit. I still might like the kid, but I look at how he responds to getting hit. And so that's an example. And so also, trying to call the high school baseball coach for me is paramount, and getting a better idea of his character and his work ethic. That's a main one. Sometimes we'll call the school counselor and ask them, hey, how's this kid in school? And so there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of background that goes into each kid. At least we try for each kid that we recruit. And so with that being said, we want guys to come here and represent our university well. We want them to graduate in 4 years, and we want them to go make an impact in the community somehow, some way, whenever they finish here. And so that's the goal, that's the mindset. And we wouldn't mind winning a few games, while we're at it.
Right. Playing collegiately and professionally yourself, what has baseball taught you that has helped you in life?
I think that consistency is the number one thing when I think about baseball. And I think it's such a wonderful sport to learn life from. And it's a team sport, yet there's a lot of individual stuff going on in there, and so you have to balance those two things. And the ups and downs of it, the failure of it is the most, it's just constant. And so baseball is something that you fail at quite a bit hitting-wise, yet you still kind of grind things out, and you have to have a good mindset in order to make it through. And so in today's world, the student athlete, I'm very impressed with the academic rigor that they go through, the expectations that they have to uphold that I have for them, as well as all the other things that they're involved in. It's a very tough job for them. But if you have the right mindset, and if you have a good work ethic and all those things, then you can do very well.
Coaching for you, it's not just a job, it's really a lifestyle. It's 24/7. Tell us about your family. Your wife works on campus. And what do you guys like to do to decompress or relax away from baseball?
Well, during the season, you know, all we can do right now, which this is no different. You know, I come home and my two boys are all over me right away, and it's something I love. It's something I love most nights. So, but anyway, you know, just last night, you know, we're playing soccer in the house, and of course, I could see Mom's face, and she's, you know, you got to get out of here. But we had fun doing that, and so just playing with the kids, and it takes up most of our time. I have a 9-year-old and a 4-year-old, and I have two boys there, and so we also got a new dog, and so we play with the dog a lot, and so. But outside that, you know, we like to take trips every now and then and enjoy those kinds of things together.
Yeah, we appreciate that insight, Coach. Last question. We've got to know, how much is an autographed baseball card of Aaron Gentry worth?
I think last I checked, I had to pay somebody to take it. So okay. I think that's about it.
Okay.
I think it's minus something.
All right. Thanks. We appreciate you joining us today, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. We'll have more of the show right after this message.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Welcome back to the U of O Sports Weekly Show. Let's take a look at the week ahead for Eagle Sports. Tuesday, men's and women's tennis will be on the road. They'll be taking on Texas Lutheran, Southwestern, and Schreiner University. Thursday, women's and men's soccer, they host Laterno. Women's and men's clay target, they'll be on the road in San Antonio to compete in the ACUI National Championships. Now on Friday, like we talked about, the baseball team hosts Concordia University, Texas in a doubleheader. Softball is actually on the road and will be playing the same team, Concordia, in a doubleheader. And the men's and women's clay target team will continue to compete in the ACUI National Championships on Friday. Saturday, the baseball series wraps up against Concordia University, Texas at Lanier Qualls Field. Softball, they play Game 3 at Concordia. And women's and men's clay target team, they wrap up the national championships down in San Antonio. Track is also on the road Saturday. They will compete at the Southern Arkansas University Invitational. And finally, Sunday, women's and men's soccer, they are on the road against the final regular season match of the season at UT Dallas. Thanks for joining us for this edition of U of O Sports Weekly. We want to thank the Media 2 class here at the University of the Ozarks. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
We gotta finish today's job, boys.